A very good afternoon to you wherever you are. Welcome to the program Midday Discourse, coming your way live from Nigeria's capital city. This beautiful Tuesday right here in Nigerian city. On today's edition of the program, we'll be looking at the crisis in Plateau State, north central Nigeria, where many has described as one location where everyone should or is hoping to visit or perhaps reside and carry out their lawful activities. But of recent, there have been some crises that have put Plateau State on the watch list, and many are wondering. To find out answers to this on today's edition of the program, we will be joined by the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Plateau State, who will be live on our program this very day, with their discourse to take a look on the way forward to have a lasting solution on the crisis in Plateau State. My name is Clinton Agbo, and I'm glad to welcome you on today's edition of the program Midday Discourse on Global TV. Of course, our functions, our duties here is to find a lasting solution. Of course, Plateau State, north central Nigeria, it's a beautiful place. Many have described it as the best place for studies, agriculture, and of course, it has one of the best environment and has been described by tourists as open heaven for tourists, men and women, both in and out of the country. But of recent, pocket of crisis in that part of the country are not giving out enough reason why people should visit the place. But of course, calm has been restored as I speak, because the government of the day is doing everything possible to ensure there is peace in Plateau State. The Speaker of the House of Representatives will be joining us on the program. Let's take a break. When we come back, hopefully our Speaker will be with us and we'll be looking on how to find a lasting solution to the beautiful state of Plateau State, north central Nigeria. Please don't go away. Glad to have you back on the program this beautiful day right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the course of the program, we did say we were going to look at Plateau State. And of course, I have with me in the studio, Honorable, talking about the Honorable Speaker for Plateau State of Assembly, Honorable Gabriel Dawon. He's right here in the studio, and we'll be looking at a means of having a lasting solution to one state that has been described by many as an open heaven for the beauty people of Nigeria and as well as tourism. But of recent, we've not been having so good result from Plateau State. Honorable Speaker, what's the situation now as we speak in Plateau State?
Well, good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, listeners. First, as you know, Plateau State is known as home of peace and tourism. During our elementary school, some of us come up and met Plateau as one of those peaceful states in this country. And as you know, the location of Plateau is located in the heart of Nigeria, surrounded by different states of Nigeria. We don't share border with any external country for us to maybe have a second thought of maybe we have been attacked by external machineries. It's very unfortunate what is happening on the Plateau now. It's very sad. In fact, to add more to it, the most painful part of it is the present local government that is being terrorized, Mongu local government, is in the heartbeat of the Plateau, the central Plateau, surrounded by other local government as well. And one begin to wonder, as a representative of the people, which access road these terrorists are using to pass Bauchi or Taraba or Nasarawa or Kaduna. Those are states that are surrounded Plateau, to come inside Plateau, not just to attack neighboring local government, but to come to the central Plateau. Then we begin to wonder what is going on. And as a representative of the people, all I can say is there's a lot of problem going on. That myself, or neither the governor or anybody, we can't really tell what actually is going on. But we believe that there is a kind of, can I say, ethnic cleansing or land grabbing, because for me as an individual, I don't believe in the narrative that is being said out there about farmers herders clashes on the Plateau. The situation on the Plateau, I can say it without missing word, there's nothing like herders farmers clashes. Because how can you call it a clash when people are sleeping? For crying out loud, people will come over in the night, kill, burn houses, maim, destroy crops that has been harvested. At times, during rainy season, they grow in crops, they use cutlasses and cut them down.
Who are these people, Honorable Speaker?
Well, for me, I'm not a security personnel to tell you authoritatively these are the people, but with the information and with the experience, we have been attacked by the Fulanis. I'm saying it without missing, we have been attacked by the Fulanis.
Any proof, Mr. Speaker?
Yes. The recent press release by the Meiti Allah cattle breeders in the state is a proof that they are responsible for the happening, because it's obvious they are justifying what is happening. For them to go to national TV and say their cattle were being roasted, their cattle were being stolen, this and that and that. For me, I believe that that's enough reason to believe that they know everything that's going on.
Have you been able to reach them as the Speaker of the state? Have you been able to reach and find out why is this happening?
Yes, I have written to them to have an interface with them, in fact, 2 times, but they never obliged to it. Even though in one of the communication, because one of them in that press release was a councillor, attempted councillor aspirant in Plateau Central, that I have to seek for his phone number. And I called him, I said, I need to have an interface with them. He said he can't meet me, that I'm not a security personnel, and he can't meet me that he have no business with me, even as the Speaker of the House. But to sum it up, I think the situation of Plateau, for me, I believe that is beyond what some of us are thinking. I have a feeling that something is wrong somewhere. I have a feeling that there are some more of external sponsors of something. Because if you look at the weapons these people are using, you begin to wonder, can a normal header afford such weapons? And if he afford it, how manage does he drive down with those weapons to Plateau? I said Mungu that we're talking about is in the middle central Plateau. Before you reach Mongu, you pass different local governments. And you begin to wonder which access road does the people use to penetrate unhindered. Sometimes it's broad daylight.
Honorable Speaker, you don't look happy, and I think your people too don't look happy. Can we quantify the level of damage caused by this recent incident?
If I would be happy, then it means I'm
No,
not
you're
ready
not.
to be the speaker of my people, because any rational human being that is on the plateau that saw what happened or can go to the spot assessment and see what happened, you must be sympathetic and you must be remorseful, because seeing a kid of 3-month-old baby with a blood wound, seeing 9-month babies crying beside the corpse of their mother that had been butchered. My brother, on Christmas Eve, when people are dancing, when people have cooked food, prepared food to celebrate Christmas, just for them to be slaughtered like chickens, and you expect us to be happy? Houses are being burnt, properties worth millions, in fact in billions, because the Mongo and Bokos we're talking about here, they are food basket of not just Plateau. Mongo that you know, if anybody that know Mongo can tell you that Mongo produced farm produce that feed this nation. They export maize, Irish potato, and name it to other countries. But I'm scared. This year we're going to have food scarcity on the plateau, and in fact the country, based on what is happening, because many communities, many villages have been destroyed and people are running for their life. Nobody is free to go to farm, because you are in your farm, they will attack you and become an issue.
Honorable Speaker of Plateau State, right here in the studio of Global TV this beautiful afternoon, but not beautiful in Plateau State, because the people of Mangu are still counting their laws. The Speaker is in the House. Speaker, should residents of Mangu precisely, where should they look for help now? From the government, or are you winning in this situation? Are you in control of what is happening in your state?
We are not in control of what is happening.
Including the government of the day?
Yes, we are not in control, because
The Discourse right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. We sincerely apologize for that short break in transmission, but we are glad to have you back on the program. We are taking a look at the sad incident that's happening in an environment described by many as the tourist center in Nigeria, where much of our food on the table is said to be coming from this part of the city. We are talking about Plateau State, and recent feelings coming from Plateau State, not good enough, precisely the Mangu area of the state. And the Speaker is in the studio, not a happy man at all, because his constituency is not happy. And he said the government is doing everything possible to put unrest to this ugly situation in Plateau State. Honorable Speaker, let's come back here. Those who are casualty, where are they? Are they actually taking treatment? And what's happening to those victims?
sure, there are two different sets of casualties.
Yeah.
Those who sustain injury, they are presently being attended to in different various hospitals across the state. The second casualties are those who lost their lives. Some were roasted. If you see corpses of human beings, it's so pathetic that the entire family would be locked down in their own house and set ablaze. But 6 people in one family, a father, a mother, and his own entire generation. Do you imagine that kind of sad situation? And they are roasted like chickens.
Has anyone claimed responsible for this, Honorable Speaker?
As I said earlier, nobody has come out to take responsibility, but as a representative of the people, as I said earlier, the press release, the press conference, I should to say, that was being made by the Mieti Allah of Plateau State chapter.
What was the reason of that press conference? If you,
according to them, they were claiming that their own people were being attacked by the Plateau indigenes. And I want to say this here without missing word, that when someone is being killed and someone somewhere come out and said, why are you saying someone was being killed? My was this and that is enough reason to believe that he's responsible. It means it's more of a retaliation. But I beg to ask, if it is true that their cattle were being roasted by the indigenous people. There are law enforcement agencies that are responsible to handle such cases, not for them to take laws into their hand, as the case we're having on the plateau. And for me, I think the situation on the plateau now, the remedy for it as a representative of the people now is, yes, the securities are doing their best, but the situation is getting out of hand. So as a representative of the people, we're appealing and we're pleading with the federal government, if need be, if wishes are same, because I've engaged with so many securities heads, and we come to realize that sometimes they are complaining of our own terrain in the state. Some of the security personnel are saying they don't respond quickly to distress calls because of the terrain of the state. And to a large extent, I reason with them. Why did I say so? Maybe a military personnel is from Ogun. For instance, I'm making an example. You transfer him from Ogun to Plateau. He don't know anywhere on the plateau, true. He don't know the entrance and the exit roads within the communities. And when you call them on distress call, the first thing they need to do is to first protect themselves, true, before protecting us. And since they don't know the entrance and the exit doors of those terrorists, they have to be somehow scared for their own life too. So for us, as an indigent and a representative of the people of Plateau, we're appealing to the federal government that since the situation is getting out of hand, if the Chief of Defense Staff, the Army Chief of Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and all the security aides deem it fit, we have indigenous Plateau sons and daughters who are well trained, who are serving this country in different parts of the country. I'm afraid one day they will come back and find their ancestral home being wiped away. So in this present situation now, if wishes are same, we want some of them to be redeployed back home. Nobody will protect your own home more than you yourself. And it affects that situation now that we cannot compromise any longer. We want them back home. They were born and bred on the plateau. They know all the roads linking one village to another, one community to another. Let them come back home and safeguard their ancestral home before any other thing. Else, I'm afraid our own sons and daughters who are fighting to maintain the one Nigeria that we have always yearned for, one day they will come back and find nobody in their own communities again. Like more than 20 to 30 communities have been wiped away. Imagine, even you are a military colonel, or you are a mobile police, you are serving Maiduguri, you are serving Borno, you just receive a distress call that your entire community has been wiped out. What are you even doing there? You cannot come back home, your mother, your siblings, everyone has been wiped out while you are protecting that community. I think it's time they come back home. Let them, since the security are complaining of the terrain, let those who are familiar with the terrain, those who are indigenous of the son of the soils of Plateau, those who are so passionate because it's their own land, they will do everything within their capacity to protect it, to safeguard it. So if wishes are same, we're appealing that the federal government should see reason why they would deploy some of our well-trained personnel to come back home at this material time to come and curb the situation before looking way forward. That is one. Secondly, I'm also appealing as a lawmaker to the federal government that this state police, if there's any time we need state police in Nigeria, especially like Plateau State, is now than ever before. Because in most cases, sometimes even His Excellency the Governor will be handicapped when it comes to security issues, because to a large extent, you have nothing but little that they can do when it comes to security issues. So I think this is the time we need state policing, where the youths of the states will be fully engaged, receive the training that they desire, and position in all those areas to safeguard their motherland or their fatherland, as we may say, because we don't have any other place than Plateau. We cannot be killed, be roasted like chicken day in, day out. Only press release, counter, we condemn this, we condemn, and that is the only thing we politicians can do. We condemn this, condemn that. And when you go to social media, I read a comment from somebody that it get me crying. When people were killed and our people were crying, one young man, is it Izul, somebody wrote on the Facebook that you lament while we are strategizing to come back and kill you again. Imagine such posts just coming at a very material time that people, lives have been lost, properties have been destroyed. And a human being is writing such posts on a social media, and I begin to ask, where is the intelligence gathering in this country? Because sometimes there is a clear notification that they are going to attack such a community a day or two before the attack will take place, and the attack will surely take place. And unhindered, then we begin to wonder, if you go, we have SSS, we have SIB, we have Army, we have Mobile, we name them. But as I said, we appreciate all the effort the securities are putting. But it's obvious it's getting out of hand. Maybe it's above their capacity. That is the more reason we need our sons and daughters, well-trained personnel of Plateau origin, to come back home, to cope up this situation at this material time, to save the heritage of Plateau.
A cry there from the Honorable Speaker himself, Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, appealing to reinforcement of perhaps sons and daughters of the state to come back home and ensure that they protect their environment. The Speaker is not a happy man because there was, if you ask it, massacre. I stand being corrected on that word, but it has not gone down well with the good people of Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, has anyone been arrested on this? Has the government pinned anyone on this?
For me, I would say no. Why did I say no? As I said, this has been more of a recurrent in the state.
It has been happening always.
All the time. But most often, people that end up fall victim of arrest are indigenous people who become frustrated, and they have no choice than to come out to defend themselves.
Who is arresting them, Mr. Speaker?
The securities.
The security of the state or the federal security?
The federal security. We don't have any security in the state, as far as I'm concerned. Be it military, be it police, be it DSS, be it Air Force, all are federal securities. And at the end of the day, when people are being attacked, the indigenous people, sometimes they have no choice than to carry machete, carry anything available to come out to defend themselves. They fall victim of being
in the name of self-defense.
Self-defense, yes.
And they end up being victims.
Victim of the arrest. And that is the situation we have. But for me, I think it's not about even arresting those attacking us that matters. We need to know who are the brain behind these attacks. It's not about the attackers. Because for me, I believe that the attackers are minor issue. If we are able to fish, if the federal government is able to fish out their sponsors.
Is your government looking for those who are aggrieved? Have you set panels like what is obtainable in Nigeria? Have you been able to call for a dialogue to find out the reason why this is happening?
Very well. Even before this present government coming, to be fair to the last administration of Barrister Simon Lalong, before we come on board with the present governor, there were a series of dialogue where the Fulanese leaders, the indigenous people come together. When this government come in of Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfang, I can tell you that means they have had dialogue, set different panels more than 3 to 4 times, trying to provide solutions to this situation. In fact, just a few days ago, he himself led the powerful delegation of the government to go to assessment, spot assessment to all the affected communities with the Commissioner of Police, in fact with the AIG, with the GOC, with all the security heads for a spot assessment. But the issue is, it's not just about setting the committees. If you have been very current in this country, there's this woman, is it Najatu Mohammed also? There's one of her media engagement that I watched. There were so many security revelations that woman made that some of us get us scared about the country we're living in. There were a lot of revelations she made that she was part of a particular committee that was set to investigate about the happenings in the northern axis of Nigeria, that there were reports indicting some powerful leaders in this country that they submitted to the last government of President Muhammadu Buhari, that she was shocked, I'm quoting her verbatim, that she was shocked that up to this moment, none of those persons was pinned down. And the reports indicted them, and according to her, some were serving as ministers, some were serving as businessmen, and so on. So for me, if such reports are taken for granted and swept under the carpet, then how can we find a solution? And as I said, these people attacking us don't have the capacity to purchase those weapons they are using. Even if they have the capacity to purchase it, definitely there must someone who import it for them. Because most of them, I believe, they don't have the connections to import some of those weapons. Even when we are told that our borders were being closed, then you begin to wonder, where are those sophisticated weapons being imported to? Not just to come to Nigeria, to bordering country, a state like Katsina or Borno, where sharing borders with Cameroon and others, but to Plateau. Imagine the number of states they pass with these weapons before they arrive Plateau. Then you begin to wonder, we're sitting on a time bomb.
Are these weapons not locally made?
No. I can tell you with that means what, they are not locally made weapons. We're talking about machine guns. Some of the weapons that even military personnel, when they had the sound, they become scared, they become terrified to respond to it.
Honorable Speaker, let me ask this question. Why are your people being attacked? You are in the center of Nigeria. Why should one cover all this distance? Why are they being attacked?
That is why I tell you that I, as a person, I'm speaking as an individual, not on behalf of the government of Plateau, but as a bona fide son of the Plateau and as a representative of the Plateau and as a speaker of the House of the Assembly, as someone who was born and bred on the Plateau, I believe that there is a conspiracy against Plateau. There are people, caught me correctly, there are people who are interested in land grabbing. Because if you go to most of those communities, those villages that our people have been attacked, you're interested to know that some of the communities have been occupied by Fulanis. And the federal government is saying nothing. Neither the securities are saying. In fact, there are some communities on the Plateau that is more of a no-go area to even security personnel. Places like Manga, where you go, if you check Manga, Kwi, and other communities are places that were occupied by indigenous people of Birom, Bokos, and others. Our people will be killed. After some time, the Fulanis will come and occupy it, and they become the owners of that community. And nobody is saying anything. That is my fear. That's why I said it's obvious that there is a conspiracy to keep killing our people, wiping them, so that the people will be occupying the communities. That's where the word land grabbing is coming in all my presentations. I believe that there is a sinister move to occupy the land of Plateau by the external forces. That is my belief.
Meet the Discourse right here on Global TV, coming away live from Nigeria's capital city, taking a look at the poor situation in Plateau State at the Speaker, House of Assembly. It's in the studio giving us an insight and perhaps providing solutions on how to put an end to this ugly situation where many have been killed. The Honorable Speaker has said sons and daughters of Plateau State should be deployed back to home to provide what could be described as the best to ensure the safety of lives and property in their own home, and of course calling on the efforts to make use of technology to ensure that this is put on end. But I want to ask the Plateau State government, which you belong, and you said time with that number, this has happened. Is it that when it happened, you cry foul on a day and the next 1 hour you go to rest? Are there not mounted security within this area so that we can have an end to this? I see you're feeling, Honorable Speaker. I sympathize with you. But can't we put an end by putting on surveillance at all times?
If you caught me by my word, I said it earlier, in some instances, communities that are less than a kilometer away from a military formation have been attacked, unhindered. We have that scenario in Sabungari in Mongu, where there's a heavy military checkpoint, and people have been attacked just meters away, not up to a kilometer.
And what is the military saying? What are they saying?
I said it earlier. At times they said they are not familiar with our terrain. At times the excuse is they need more reinforcement, because I said it earlier, these people come in large numbers. Sometimes I sympathize with the security, to be fair to them, because if you are opportune to see the movement of these bandits.
You have seen them?
Yes, we have seen them in the videos. You do know the sad scenario on the Plateau is that these people, they will come as they are killing, they are video covering, they come with their own media team. They will be there to be video covering what they are doing to still post it on the air. That's why I said our intelligence gathering in this country is dead. Is dead, naturally dead. Because I begin to wonder where people are being killed like chicken, and the video is being recorded and released out, and nobody can be able to trust where the video is coming from. Then we begin to give up where we live, and that's what is happening. You see them, the time they are killing, their video coverage every bit of it, and they will release it out for us to watch it, so that it will pain us the more. That is the situation we find ourselves. Secondly, you see, like what is happening in Mungu, you will just know that we have an Air Force formation in Mungu. How did they call it? Is it Air Force base or Air Force what in Kerang? Air Force something in Kerang. It's a very big formation. Some months ago, when Mungu was attacked, the Army Chief of Staff came and they moved the headquarters of the Operation Safe Haven. That is a security formation set on the plateau for maintenance of peace on the plateau. Moved down to Mungu.
More closer to the people.
To the local government, to the headquarters of Mungu.
With an attempt to stop all this.
All the happenings. But the interesting is the same Mungu that is being terrorized up to this moment.
Is it that these people have overcome both the state and the federal government? From the picture we see.
For me,
because if they can come and stay and carry out all the operation and then video all this, and yet the movement of the military formation closer to the people has not helped the people. Now, who are the people crying to, Honorable Speaker? Who are your people crying to now?
First we are crying to God Almighty, who created us. You know, as a Christian, and as a believer, I believe that sometimes we leave everything to God. God who created us know why these things are happening. But if Israelites, where we used to travel to go for pilgrims, are carrying arms to defend their territory, I think it's time for the federal government, if it's above their control, is to give our people the go ahead to defend ourselves. Let's take our destiny in our hands.
You have enough people who can do that.
The issue is not about we having enough people to do that or not, but for us to lock ourselves inside room and to be born like chickens. It's better we take our destiny into our hand, so that when we die, we know that the war have consumed all of us, than when we'll be attacked little by little and we keep losing people day in, day out. And as I said, most often what happens is they will attack us, and when anybody try to come up with any, whether it is machete, whether it is cutlass, you end up falling a victim of being arrested by the securities. That's the situation. So in that kind of scenario, we are just being helpless.
When the last attack, your governor made some statement, there was curfew. How has that helped the people of Mangu?
You will just know that it is under that 24 hours curfew that more destruction took place. More destruction took place under the 24 hours curfew. And based on the information we receive, the compliance of the curfew is more. There are some people who seem to be above the law. Yes, because I spoke with the colonel who is in charge of the security formation in Mungu. One colonel, is it Chuku or someone? Because before I called him, there was a major there, Major Chang, who was in charge. I was thinking it's Major Chang, who I've been in talking terms with. When I called him, he said he has been shifted back to the headquarters. So he sent me the number of the person that took off. When I called him, what he told me is so pathetic. Very, very pathetic indeed. He says the situation is beyond their control. I'm saying it on the national TV. He said the situation is beyond their control. That there was a curfew. Yes, the Christian communities were indoors. Sadly, the other side, the Fulanis, were moving unhindered. The people that they were born, the churches that were born under a broad daylight, not in the night, and under the 24 hours curfew. So you begin to realize that the curfew, for me, at that material time, I feel like the curfew is just to catch our people for them to be roasted like chicken. Because they were already indoor.
When you say our people?
Our people, because they are the indigenous people that I represented. They are my people. As far as I'm concerned, none of my people can raise arm to attack his own community. I hope you understand. Anybody who is attacking Plateau is not my person, it's not my people. Because I believe they are just enemies who are trying to take our land by force. But my own people are the people who line up and elected me, are the indigenous people who I speak for, who are represented, and are the people that under COVID, they are law-abiding citizens. They go to their own rooms, and it's as a result of that most of them fall victim of being roasted as chickens. Because, as I said, I have videos I can show you, I can send you some, where an entire family was being roasted. And you see videos where they come and burgle shops, looting properties belonging to the Christians. When they loot it, finish, they set it ablaze. And lately, the situation was about to degenerate from the normal Fulanis attack to more of a religious crisis, since churches were being burned. Christians' houses in a Muslim-dominated formation were being destroyed and being burned. So it was about to take different dimensions, even not because of the swift reaction of the intervention of His Excellency, the executive governor of the state. The situation could have escalated.
How much help have you gotten from Abuja, I'm talking about the federal government, to put an end to this?
To be fair to the federal government, they have been trying, because, as I said, when the last incident happened, the second before the last, the Inspector General of Police was in the state, the Chief of Defense Staff was in the state, the Army Chief of Staff, the Naval, all the securities were in the state in condolences and in effort to boost more security architecture. But as I said, sadly, all the efforts is not enough. If all they are coming to the state, the Vice President was in the Plateau, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Naval Staff, the how did they call it? Air Force boss was in the IG, and so many others. And all they come, all the assurance is this will be the end of the attack. And that led to the movement of the transferring of the security base of the Operation Safe Haven down to Mongu, believing that it will curtail the situation with all the security equipment. But it's that same Mongu that these terrorists are coming. That is to tell you that these people have vowed they are daring the federal government. If not, my thinking was, if they have moved the headquarters of this security formation to Mongu, maybe they could have changed tactics to say, okay, they will move from Mongu to maybe attack any neighboring. But they said, let's dare them, let's see what they can do. And they moved to that same Mongu. And not the Mongu I'm talking about. The last attack is not in the outskirts of Mongu, it's the heart, in the center, in the city. In fact, some people, the passerbys who are passing on the federal highway, fall victim.
What is the economic value of mango? And why mango all the time?
When you talk of economic value, I can tell you that means Mongo is one of the local government, among the 774 local governments, one of the local government that produced food. When you talk of food stuff in this country, that's why we call it the food basket of Middle Belt, because they produced maize in large quantity, Irish potato, guinea corn, name it, food stuff. I said it earlier before, I'm scared. We're going to have food scarcity this year because of the happenings in Mongo. Because a lot of farmers are being killed. People are afraid to go to farm. A lot of farmland that used to be cultivated year in, year out, were not cultivated this year as a result of the happenings. So I'm scared. It's going to be a very serious situation. That is why if you go to Plateau now, the indigenous people who have virtually become IDPs in our own land. We have so many IDPs, even more than the Northeast now on the Plateau. We have so many IDPs, children, elders, youths. Now the implication is, like that one of Christmas, a lot of our people who are working in Abuja, some are working in Lagos, some have spent 1 year, they have not come back home, gathered money to come back home to celebrate with their own people, for crying out loud. Just leave your working place and come back and surrender yourself to be slaughtered. You know how painful it is. You travel yourself, you pay as expensive the transportation was this December, as the drivers were charging extravagantly to go and submit yourself to a killers with the intention you are coming back to reunite with your own lovers, to reunite with your own community, to reunite with your own family members, just to be killed by some blood-thirsty, shocking terrorists, call themselves bandits, and call themselves haters. They are Fulanis.
Speaker.
And they are the one killing our people.
Honorable Speaker, what's the way forward for your people in Mangu? What's your government doing as a speaker? What do you tell the governor each time you meet him?
Anytime I meet the governor, the same appeal I'm making here is the same appeal I'm making to the governor. Let's appeal to the federal government. Let our indigenous security personnel be deployed back home. That is my own personal advice to the governor. Today, tomorrow, until security return the plateau. We need our people back home. You know why? As I said earlier, nobody can defend you more than you yourself. Nobody can defend you more than you. You cannot go and bring military from Niger to come and defend Nigeria like how the Nigerians military will defend Nigeria. And that's the situation we have reached on the plateau. No any military personnel from any part of this country can defend plateau more than the indigenous plateau military and policemen. So we need them back home at this material time. Let them, even if they cannot come back home whole, let them come in large numbers so that the...
Do you know all of them? Do you know some of your states?
I don't know all of them, but I know, I am in the know that Plateau State have enough personnel serving this country across the states. Because don't forget that today the one Nigeria are calling today, that we are bragging of today, is as a result of a Plateau man. That is our father, General Yakubu. You know it. That time some of us were not born. I was born in 92. Even my mother then, I think maybe if she was in 3 or 5 years then, in that as of early 70s. But we read it in our elementary schools. Yakubu Gowon fought for this country to make sure that Nigeria was not divided. And we lost so many illustrious souls during that battle. And today, this is the time that some of us expect that the federal government of Nigeria, if for nothing, for the sacrifice that Plateau people have offered to maintain this country as a one entity, is the time that they need to come in for us to make sure that the heritage of Plateau should be safeguarded. As I said, if Plateau will be attacked, no place in this country is safe. Considering the location of the Plateau, we're in the middle of the country. And if Plateau is attacked, where is Plateau and where is Abuja? Where is Nasarawa? Don't forget, when during the first creation of the city, it's Benue Plateau. Abuja was under Plateau, Benue Plateau. And if Plateau will be facing this, I'm scared.
Scared of Abuja?
I'm scared that no part of the country will be safe.
Our guest has been the Speaker of House of Assembly, Plateau State. Not a happy man this moment with a crisis that has brought down the entire Mangu community and the Plateau State, that he's appealing to federal government and individuals, including sons and daughters of Plateau State, to start thinking of coming home to enhance security in the state. Honorable Speaker, we want to sympathize with you and also thanking you for coming up to the program to talk about finding lasting solution to our beautiful Plateau State. I want to say a big thank you to you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Global TV, and thank you, Nigerians. Pray along with us. Our guest
has been Honorable Gabriel Dawang, who is the Speaker of Plateau State. He's not a happy man, I told you time with that number, and he's asking for prayers for this state. It will be recalled that one of our greatest President Gowon is also leading the national prayers, and this looks like the Plateau State people truly need national prayer. So we keep praying for Plateau and hope that they will find a lasting solution to the crisis. That's the size of today's edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you for finding time to be with us. And of course, my own very good friend, Honorable Sonny, and of course, the Chief of Staff who've made this possible today. Join us same time tomorrow for another interesting edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV. Special thanks to everyone who did it possible, not forgetting Gabriel in the studio, and of course those who have been touching the wonderful button for today's edition of the program. Do have a wonderful stay, Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. And I am Clinton Agbo saying, have a wonderful afternoon with you.